Sports on Tap Detroit, brought to you by the Realtors of the Joe Wright Group, Jason Stiltner of Flagstar Bank, Time Out with Steven Scott, presented by Baldman Entertainment.
Buckle the fuck up.
It's time to play the game.
They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Time to play the game.
You can't let that shit happen.
You play to win the game.
If we take a fucking tight end, I quit!
Cannot win with him. Can't do it.
Time to play the game.
Welcome to Sports on Tap Game Day. I'm Chris Scott alongside Joe Waddell and Frank Gigotta. Fellas, how are we?
I'm good, man.
Good, man.
Doing all
Glad
right.
to have the gang back together
Yeah.
for the game day show.
Looking at the Week 8 slate here, which I don't know if there's any very sexy matchups this week, but
The Week 8 slate with we started off with some good verbiage. I love starting game day off with some good verbiage.
I love starting game day off with Frank's epic. If we take another tight end, I fucking quit. Drop. Every time I hear it, it makes me laugh.
It truly does.
It does every time I hear it.
It's been what, 2 years, 3 years now?
Give or take, yeah. Yeah, like two.
Every damn time it comes out, I look
makes me-
over it.
He laughs.
It's
Laughs every
fucking
time.
funny. It's an all timer.
It's like on the Tuesday show where every time it says, "We'll do it live," fuck it.
Yeah.
He either giggles or just smiles. Like it's one or the other. But he
I do
definitely
every
reacts
time.
to it every time.
Every time.
I'm glad I could bring joy to your life, Chris.
Well, hopefully, everybody's fantasy and betting aspects this week brings joy to their lives. Which we're
Hopefully.
going to try to help you out with that.
We're gonna hopefully help with.
Yeah,
that.
we're going to try to
Hopefully.
help with that. So, that being said, let's get into it, man. We got the first matchup that we're going to do here, which again, not a sexy matchup. Couldn't care less about this game, but
What?
we're going to go into it because apparently the Atlanta Falcons are in first place in the NFC South.
Okay.
Carolina taking on Atlanta.
I don't fucking know how, but
I
yeah,
don't-
What world are we living?
That's
in?
just a horrible division.
What
apparently.
world is this?
I don't know.
Geno Smith's the best quarterback. Fucking
Yeah, everybody
first overall.
yeah. Everybody had the Seahawks in first place in the NFC West, right? You had that? Everybody had that?
Of course we did.
Yeah. I mean, everybody had
Why
that.
would we not have
right.
that?
Exactly. So, Carolina taking on Atlanta. Atlanta is laying 4, and that's getting 58% of the money. 71% of the money is on the over at 41, and 76% of the money is on Atlanta money line at minus 200. I'm not touching this game at all. I want nothing to do with this game. I'm not even going to watch it. I don't even have Red Zone. If it's on Red Zone, I'm probably going to shut Red Zone off.
So looking at this one from the perspective of the betting percentages, it is dead nuts even at the +4 -4 depending on which side you're on. 76% of the money is on Atlanta money line, and then you've got about 59% on the over. But if you look at the money percentage is strong on Atlanta side -4. And it's stronger on the money line percentage on Carolina, which is very odd. So looking at the value index tool that we've used recently,
Which actually works out pretty well.
it's not bad. I mean,
It's not gospel, but it
in recent
it helps.
in the last 2 weeks, it hasn't been very good. So last week, I believe it was a 7-7,
Yeah.
which is not what you want when you're betting because you're going to lose because of the push. I mean, the juice, right? So, but overall, it's 57, 49, and 2, which overall, again, it's not gospel, but you pick and choose your areas where you want to, go with it.
right.
But let's see, where's this game at on here? So we got Carolina and Atlanta. This has Carolina actually winning this game barely.
Really?
Yes. So it says taking Carolina is the smarter bet on this one, based on all the simulations that they've done. So yeah, it's got the value index at 4.9 for Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know that.
I don't know.
I mean, they came out and fought pretty hard last week. They beat Tampa, which I mean, let's say it's not the same Tampa we've seen in recent years, right?
I mean, it might be now since Brady finally got divorced. That might kind of.
Oh, is it finally done?
Oh, it's done.
Oh yeah,
It's done. Yeah.
What was it 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Like the divorce is final?
Like it's done.
That was expedited.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Everything's agreed to.
How do you get a
everything-
finalized divorce that quickly?
Because he's Tom Brady.
I think they just wanted it done. Honestly.
Yeah, well, good for them. Yeah.
So
now,
now we can focus on, being a
Yeah.
45-year-old quarterback
and
in
now,
the NFL.
and now Giselle can focus on Zach Wilson
Yes. Or Pete Davidson, apparently.
or Pete Davidson. Yeah, that too. Either one.
Good for Pete.
No, that's not a guy. Fuck that guy too. I do not get the appeal of that guy. I just don't. I don't understand
I
it.
don't understand that one either.
I don't get it. Well, teach their own.
I don't find him funny. I never
don't either.
have. I never found him interesting. I haven't seen, like, there's that. What's the movie that he did?
King of Staten Island.
Never saw it.
Oh,
No-
dude, it was excellent.
Never
to be
had a
honest with
desire
you.
to see it. I just don't like that guy. I don't get that guy. I don't. I just don't.
No, I with you 100%. I don't get the appeal. But anyways, like the appeal of him is like the appeal of this game that we're talking about. This Carolina Atlanta game. Like there is, I see nothing about it that I like. Period. Especially with the betting aspect of it.
Sorry, guys. I had to give my daughter permission to not eat any more of her food, apparently. So yes, Raylan, you can stop eating. You can stop eating your breakfast,
The joys of having a
which
child.
I don't. I told her earlier she could stop eating whenever she wanted to, but we needed to get my permission. So
There you go.
Thank you, Raylan, for getting Daddy's permission to not eat anymore. All right, so
Gotta love kids.
yeah, I love mine to death, but sometimes I want to beat my head against the wall. So I there's not much appealing about this matchup at all, honestly, man.
Nothing.
I think Chuba Hubbard's not going to play in this game, from what I saw.
He was ruled out the other day.
Yeah, so he's been ruled out. So I mean, I do love playing Deontay Foreman. He got a lot of use last week, and he put up over 100 yards, even in splitting time with Chuba. And Chuba had a decent game too. It wasn't like one had a good game, one didn't.
Before he got injured, he was out carrying them.
Yeah, so I mean, it's. I would definitely roll with Deontay Foreman in this one if you have him, if you picked him up, if you had some injuries and you needed to pick him up. I like that play in this one. I like it as a DFS play as well. You could pay down at the position and get a starter for the whole game. Really not gonna split time. Like the guy that's coming up behind Chuba Hubbard is somebody I've never frickin' heard of. So I don't think he's gonna get much carry in this game. I don't know what else I like in this game, in all honesty. Do either one of you like anybody in this game
don't.
as far as fantasy goes?
I don't.
No.
Just for the love of God, please use Kyle Pitts. Like use him like one
I'm
game.
fucking begging you. I have him in 2 leagues right now.
Come on.
I'm begging you.
Like
Please.
I
Please.
don't. But again, the track record says I don't see it happening. Again,
It's. Is there anything more bizarre? And there's a lot of bizarre things in the football season right now.
Okay,
Is there anything
so-
more bizarre
yeah.
than the fact that they're just not using Kyle Pitts, who is by far the best player on their team?
It doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. I mean, but then again, Nathaniel Hackett is still a NFL head coach in this league, so.
Yeah, I mean,
You
in defense of that, though, it's only been 7 games. I mean, yes, we've determined that he probably should not be an NFL coach in the league. But, I don't think they're going to fire him halfway through the season. I would be, if their season continues to go the way it's going, I'd be surprised if he, speaking of which, that's the 9:30 game right
Yeah,
now.
they're losing 10-7 right now.
Yep. They got the ball.
I hope they lose again because that team is freaking awful, and I hope he gets fired as soon as possible. He's just an awful head coach. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have much else on this game.
All
just
right.
use Kyle Pitts, please.
Yes.
Begging you.
Yes. Next up, we got Chicago taking on Dallas. It's pretty split, even split on the spread with Chicago getting 10. That's going off at 52%. 71% of the money is on the under at 42.5, and 86% of the money is on Dallas money line at minus 450. This is another one I'm staying away from. I think I look at Chicago, and if they let Justin Fields do what he did last week, they actually let him be the type of quarterback that he needs to be, then I think Chicago's got a shot this game. I do.
Well, it looks like the experts are with you on that one. So the value index tool here with all the simulations has Chicago winning this game, which means they're about an 11.5 point value index right now.
Okay.
So if you take the points, that's the smart move in this game as far as what they're saying. Because Chicago has a chance to win this game.
If I had to lean somewhere in this game, I would lean towards Chicago getting the points.
I am all over Chicago getting points.
Right.
Yeah, 10's kind of a lot.
I mean, and you look at what Dallas did last week with Detroit. I mean,
They struggled.
It was awful. That was awful. Detroit's defense is not good.
No,
And Dallas struggled mightily against Detroit.
they did.
So for me, I would absolutely take Chicago with the points in this one.
Yeah, that's again. If I had to lean one way or the other, that's definitely the way I would lean. Especially with Dallas not having Zeke this week. Hopefully, going to the fantasy aspect of this. Hopefully, for people to have Tony Pollard, hopefully he gets some run. He
will.
That'd be nice.
Well, he will. So you look at this game. Week 7's game plan with Dallas was run the ball.
Yep.
Take pressure off of Dak. He's coming back from the injury.
Right.
So it's not going to be any different in this game, really. I don't think they're going to put all the pressure on Dak. They're going to run the ball, and it's going to be Tony Pollard. And I think if you held on to Tony Pollard, if you have him at this point, he's a great play this week. He's a fantastic play this week.
No, I agree. I actually have Tony Pollard on my awful fucking fantasy team. But yeah, so I do think he's a good play if you do have him. And I think maybe take a chance on Justin Fields this week. If they continue to let him play the way he needs to play or the way he should play, then I think he can put up some numbers for you this week.
Yeah, see, I'm a little bit of a wait and see on that one again. I like Justin Fields more than some people.
Frank.
I don't know who you're talking about.
But I don't think I'm willing to use him right now yet, especially against the Dallas is a good defense, right?
Yeah.
So I might be a wait and see if Chicago continues to use him properly. If they're going to continue to use him properly, he's going to continue to grow, and then I might be willing to start putting him in lineups in maybe a 2 quarterback or based on the matchup. But I have to see a little more out of him before I go that route.
Yeah.
I have him down. I mean, he's in my top 25, obviously, but he's maybe 19th or 20th.
Okay, so you're like toward the bottom end.
Yeah, and he's with he's right there with guys like Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Jesus.
Like, because Malik Willis is getting the start this week. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yes, we will. Yes.
Looking at the running back situation, I like Tony Pollard this week. I have him at let's see, 9th or 10th, right around in that area.
Yep.
Right around the same area as Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook. You know, he's going to get all the play. He's the guy in that backfield this week.
I say, who's their third running back? I don't even know who it is. Do they even have one?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know right off the rip here. Let me see if I can see. I don't. I don't see who they're.
I was talking about that with one of the guys I work with, and we were both kind of like, I don't know, man. I have no idea.
I think he's going to be the guy.
Yeah.
Short of maybe a couple carries going to somebody, but
Right.
I love him this week, honestly, in this game, in this matchup. Chicago has a decent defense. They played well last week, but they're not the Chicago defense they used to be. You know what I mean?
No, it's a solid defense, and I think they're going to be able to get to Dak a little bit, but
Well, they just also moved that D end.
yeah,
Was it
that's
Quinn?
good. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, they traded that guy.
Yeah,
to
they
Philly.
traded.
Was it Quinn?
Yeah.
So that's going to hurt them.
Yeah,
It is. I totally forgot that they did that.
Yeah, it's going to hurt him a little bit, which means Pollard might have a little more room to run. Maybe Dak gets a little more protection than maybe he would have if he didn't get was it Robert Quinn? Yeah.
Yes.
Lamb is so CeeDee Lamb. I think you got to play him. He's wide receiver 22 in fantasy on the season. He's got a 32% target share, which is great. But right now with Dak, I mean, they didn't air it out much last week. they didn't have much chemistry. I think some of it's on Dak coming back from an injury, but I'm playing CeeDee Lamb if I have him. I'm not necessarily expecting a whole lot, and you might want to temper your expectations. And if you have Michael Gallup, you might as well just put him on your bench
Right.
or drop him at this point. I mean, he's been dog shit.
I tried to
Since
start him
coming back.
last week, and it was just like, dude, what was
You got a
the
goose egg.
fucking point?
Goose egg. Mm-hmm. Noah Brown's been doing better, and he's the third wide receiver.
We were talking last week about it. I somehow pulled out a win. No fucking clue how.
Hey, take him when you can get him like that.
Yeah, hell
I
yeah.
had 2 guys put up a goose egg. I had 2 guys on IR, and I had 4 guys on a bye week, and I still somehow managed to pull out a W.
I don't know how that happened. Lucky bastard.
For real. I can't beat Chris on a fucking perfectly healthy week, but
Yeah, right.
Yeah, other than that, in this game, I don't see a whole lot of play in this game that I'd be
No.
happy to talk about.
No, certainly not. So with that being said, let's move on to the biggest game of the week. The Miami Dolphins taking on the Detroit Lions.
You always say the biggest game of the week when it's Detroit. I love it.
76% of the money is on Miami laying 3.5. 55% of the money is on the under at 51.5. 76% of the money is on the Dolphins money line at minus 190. Again, with the Lions, it's always like I have no idea. Like if you pick them to cover, they don't cover. If you pick them to not cover, they do cover. I have no idea. So with this game, I actually like the over in this game. I do.
okay.
If I had to go with something, I'd go with the over in this game. What?
Children, they always got to come tell you something.
All right.
So, if anybody sees me keep ducking my head down below over here, I'm talking to my child, who randomly has to come down and tell me things.
It's important.
It is. It's always important. So, looking at the value index for this one, Miami, Detroit.
Yeah.
So this has Miami winning by about 4 points, which the spread is what, 3.5?
3.5.
So it's leaning in the way of taking Miami in this game. But I'm going to tell you, I never put money on a Lions game ever. So I'm not planning on touching this game. I would lean towards Miami if I had to though. If you put pressure on me to make a pick here, I'm going to lean taking Miami minus the 3.5 points.
I took them.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Took Miami.
I took Miami.
Like I said, like you were talking to your daughter, I told Frank, the only thing I actually somewhat like in this game, I actually do like the over in this game.
And the over in this game is
51.5.
51.5. Okay.
I could see this being like a,
Yeah.
35-27 type game or something like that. I could absolutely see that.
I just think about what Miami was able to do earlier in the season, and if Tua's 100% finally,
Yeah.
that could get ugly.
Well, that's going to be the question in this one, right? I mean, I think is he 100%? Because he didn't necessarily look 100% last week.
He didn't.
So if he can build off of that, if he's closer to 100%, if he actually is 100%, if that offense is clicking, it's going to be a rough day for Detroit. If they come out and look like Dallas did last week,
Hey.
Detroit can stick in the game.
Yeah.
So it's
You can get an SOL win.
yeah, you very well could.
SOL win,
we
baby.
talked about it on Tuesday. You very well could end up getting an SOL win here. This is a prime spot for it to happen, for the SOL win. Everyone's down on the coach. Everyone's down on the team. It's a team that, by all accounts, you shouldn't beat. It is at home. You get a team you shouldn't beat at home. When you're beat down, the fan base is beat down. They're giving up on the season. They're giving up on the coach, and then you pull out that win you're not supposed to.
Oh, yeah.
You're not supposed to pull off.
You know what we can start calling today? SOL Sunday.
SOL Sunday, huh?
Until
Instead
it
of game day, we just call it SOL Sunday.
Yep.
SOL Sunday.
Welcome to SOL Sunday.
Oh, God. I'm just curious to see what way they blow it this week.
I
want to see what SOL play they come up with this week.
It's literally why I've started betting on the other team because I'm like, I'll either end up rich or happy. One of the two.
I'm always curious to see how they blow it because they blow it all the time.
Right.
In many different ways. It's the only team I know that can find new ways all the time.
And it's always interesting
Like
to see which way it
is.
is.
And it's always something unique. You never know what's going to happen.
Never the same thing twice.
It's not like you see it and you go, I've seen that before. The only thing you have seen before is the fact that they will blow it at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you've seen that movie, throughout your entire life.
But the good thing about this movie is when it plays again and again, you think you've seen this movie before. Twist ending.
Twist ending.
It's like every one of the Fast and the Furious movies.
Yeah, right. Oh, wait a minute. Dom's got a brother that we didn't know about for the first 8 installments of this fucking thing?
There's literally family pictures of them in the first one. And all of a sudden, he's got these random relatives.
Say, okay. Apparently, he's got a brother. Sweet.
Who is John Cena.
I mean, maybe there's a reason because you can't see him.
He was.
There's a reason we didn't know he was his brother because you can't see him.
Was not expecting that.
He was actually in the family photo. You
see
just didn't see him. That was fantastic.
We need one of those. But
That was unexpected and very fucking funny. I don't know why any of us didn't think of that before now. All right.
I think the worst part is I've literally had 20 plus years to think about
I know.
it. Right? And I love wrestling and the Fast and the Furious movies.
No. He's in the family picture. He's right there.
He's right there.
You just can't see him.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit.
See, whenever we're talking about the Lions, it always brings up funny shit. So it's like,
We went from the Lions having an SOL Sunday to talking about you can't see John Cena.
It's always random.
It's the only show you're going to get that on, folks. I promise
That's
you.
right. That's right.
All right, back to Detroit and Miami. I like to win this game. I've got him as my 5th rated quarterback on the week. Playing, and it's basically based on what he did previously this season.
Yeah.
With the current team, with Waddle, with Tyreek Hill, and it's based on the fact they're playing the Lions, not based on the fact that he didn't look good last week. Right. So I'm expecting him to progress forward past that injury, not be as rusty against the Lions team. They've got a lot of speed. Waddle's fast as hell. Tyreek Hill's fast as hell. Raheem Mostert as a running back is pretty damn fast. Surprisingly fast, actually. I love them in this matchup today as far as putting up some fantasy points. What scares me about this one is the fact that Detroit offensively can stick with some teams that don't have a good defense, and offensively they can stick with some teams and put up some points. So, but I do expect some points to be scored in this game, and I'm with you, Chris. I think the over in this game plays very well, and it's good for your fantasy lineups. You always want to get a matchup where you think the over is going to hit.
Is Jeff Okudah going to lead the team in tackles again like he did last week against the Cowboys?
When one of your cornerbacks leads your team in tackles, that's very bad for your defense.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
And I'm just glad he's not sucking completely anymore.
You're just glad he's doing something?
Yeah. He was a number 3 overall pick. He's playing like a 3rd rounder at least now, but
Right.
better than nothing.
All right, next up we got Arizona taking on Minnesota. How the fuck is Minnesota 5-1?
The same way Atlanta's leading the division. And Geno Smith's the best quarterback.
I've watched Minnesota numerous times this year, and every time I see them, they look like trash. But somehow they're 5-1.
Somehow they're pulling out victories.
So 52% of the money is going to Minnesota with the spread at -3.5. 87% of the money is on the over at 48.5. 66% of the money is on Minnesota money line at -190. I do like the over in this. I will say that. I do like the over in this at minus 110, 48.5. I think this game has the potential to be a shootout.
So the value index has the over hitting. It has this game being very close at basically 26 to 25 in favor of Minnesota.
Yep.
Which is telling you to take the points with Arizona. I think this will be a close game. I kind of agree with that one. And if I had to lean one way, I would take Arizona with the points, just because, like you said, I'm the same as you. I don't see anything special with Minnesota. They always find a way to win.
They do,
but it's not pretty, and they don't look great doing it.
It's Call of Duty week, guys. This is where it goes downhill. Who was the team I sent you last week? There's some team that Call of Duty has brought them together.
Oh, it's Kansas City.
Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes really getting into the rhythm with everybody by playing Call of Duty. And then there's some teams like Arizona that just it rips them apart.
Yeah, because Kyler Murray doesn't like playing Call of Duty with his teammates. I guess he just likes playing by himself.
And he likes playing with himself.
He likes playing with himself.
But yeah, you can't. I don't know.
Between
It's going to be interesting to see if it holds true.
between playing with himself and playing Call of Duty, he's got no time for football stuff.
I think we lost Chris.
No, I was listening to you guys go on about Kyler Murray playing with himself in Call of Duty and whatnot.
Yeah, back to the.
That's why I said I think we lost Chris.
So this game kind of offers the highest upside as far as volume goes. I think the over will hit. The Cardinals play a very fast-paced game.
They do.
And Minnesota tries to as well. So I think you're going to get a lot of offensive plays in this game, which bodes well for your fantasy lineups as well. Bodes well for an over and possibly hitting an over if they can convert on touchdowns and not just field goals. I really like Eno Benjamin in this game. He's getting another start.
Who?
Eno Benjamin.
Oh, definitely thought you said his name was Anal.
No. Eno Benjamin.
Anal Benjamin.
Eno
I
Benjamin.
was like, what's this guy's fucking name?
That's funny.
Eno Benjamin. He's the running back for Arizona that has gotten the start the last couple weeks, and he's performed pretty damn well in the absence of Connor. Darrell Williams, well, Connor's already been ruled out. Darrell Williams is a game-time decision. So Benjamin looks to be the guy again, and he looks to carry the load.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they mixed him in going forward.
He's played so well, they probably will.
I mean, Connor's been absolute dog shit.
Well, and once he gets back, that was now 3 weeks he's been out with the injury.
Yep.
I believe so.
They'll probably work him in. He didn't do much before. He wasn't looking like he did last year by any means.
I mean, last year was all touchdown dependent anyway.
It really was. We talked about that before the season started. Touchdown regression was bound to happen with him. What do you have, 18 touchdowns last year?
Yeah, and now I don't know that he's had any.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he might have had one or two, but
Yeah.
I mean, not a lot. And then being injured for the last 3 weeks. I think Eno Benjamin was a good pickup for somebody who got him, and I think you can keep rolling with him here for a while. And I think you're right. I think they will probably keep him in the mix once.
Yeah,
once
I don't
Connor
know
comes
that
back.
he's going to get the clear-cut starter job right away, but
No, but I think he'll be in the
definitely
mix.
there.
Yeah, you're right with that. I think he's not gonna be completely cut off. He's done well enough.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side of the ball, you got Dalvin Cook. Cook's RB 17 on the fantasy season, averaging about 18 touches a game, 88 yards a game, very quietly. Like, he hasn't been flashy this year. You haven't heard a lot about Dalvin Cook, but
He's
those
been
are
healthy for a change.
I was
and
going to
the-
say, is that like maybe the reason why he's actually healthy all year, though?
maybe 18 touches a game isn't bad. I guess it's a little less than what he's used to getting. 88 yards a game. Quietly, it's decent. You know what I mean? RB 17 on the season, not what you really wanted out of when you drafted him, but I mean,
And when you got a backup like Matson, like you can afford to do that.
yeah, I mean, you roll with him and you hope for a better game. Arizona's, let's see, Arizona is, they're not great against the run. So, I mean, hopefully you can Hopefully, you can expect some play out of them.
Is
out of him.
anybody in football great against the run right now?
I don't know.
Not to my knowledge.
And you look at DeAndre Hopkins last week, right? I mean, the guy exploded back onto the scene after having 6 games off, man. A lot of people were weary about playing him, right? First game back. Do I play him? Do I not? I have him in like 4 leagues. I played him in every one of them. I'm like, listen, I kept him on my bench for this long for a reason. He's back. I'm playing him.
And it's the worst thing you did in the week was have faith in DeAndre Hopkins. And he didn't show up. Like, so be it.
Right. Sometimes you're willing to make those mistakes.
Because what you can get out of a guy with that talent, I'll take the goose egg the 1 or 2 weeks out of the season he's going to lay it.
Exactly. And you saw last week, he's going to be a target monster.
Mm-hmm. He's the only one that he's comfortable with.
Kyler's going to keep throwing to him, and they're going to keep designing plays for him. He's going to be fantastic. And Justin Jefferson on the other side of the ball. What else can we say about him? The dude's one of the best 3 receivers in the league right now. Not much else to say.
Talent-wise, I definitely think he is the best, but
yeah, I would say,
but Kirk Cousins,
right? Although Kupp is up there as well. I think both those two put on clinics every week as far as being
we figured
great
out
receivers.
why that was. Stafford likes to keep people who look like that happy.
He likes giving his balls to people that look like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Apparently not people of color either, so he doesn't.
He's racist.
That's what I've been told.
Matt Stafford is racist.
Next up, you got Vegas.
Allegedly. Hold on.
Allegedly. Yes.
I'm not saying he's racist. I'm saying what I've heard.
Tom Brady got divorced and all of a sudden stopped being it. Like, he started throwing the ball to Julio this week.
It's weird. Maybe it was Giselle.
It could have been Giselle.
Maybe she was the one that said throw to your white
you look
receivers.
at some of those videos after the Super Bowl, she was kind of deep.
She was feeling on it.
Yeah, she was deep in AB's eyes for a while.
Well, shit. AB might end up being deep in Giselle after a little bit here.
Like, I was watching that video earlier, and I was like, kind of see why AB posted that. Like, Giselle looks like she wants herself some.
Maybe that's why they're getting divorced.
Maybe.
Why can't you be like Antonio and just retire?
Why can't you be like Antonio and show your crank to everybody at a pool?
Giselle Bundchen sounds like an 85-year-old woman now.
I don't know what just happened here.
Why don't you get all crazy and show your crank in a pool? Send a bag of dicks to somebody. Okay.
All right. Next up, we got Vegas taking on New Orleans. 64% of the money is on Vegas, laying 1.5. 63% of the money is on the over at 48.5, and 60% of the money is on Vegas money line at -120.
Did we lose you again?
Yeah, I think he did. I think he finally did.
It's him sitting there going, I understand why I wasn't here the last 2 weeks.
Okay. Value Index has
And we're back.
Value Index has New Orleans winning this game by 2, which is basically telling you to take New Orleans because they're only giving up 1.5, depending on where you're looking. I don't like either of these teams. They're no, seriously, both teams are like Jekyll and Hyde, aren't they?
Yeah.
Dude, the only reason I'm laughing, and Chris and I talked about this before the show, you realize we're saying that about almost every single matchup anymore.
No, like, I don't know what it is, but like most teams aren't consistent anymore, and it's weird to me.
We were talking about parity. Everybody is the exact fucking same.
Just depending on which week it is.
Yeah.
Like, they're not the same each week, but next week they'll
Week to week, everybody's identical.
Right. It's so fucking weird. But yeah, Jekyll and Hyde teams here for you. I think if I had to lean somewhere, I would lean New Orleans at home. But even then, I'm not super stoked about it. I'm not happy about it. I don't think I'm going to do it. But yeah, I would lean to New Orleans.
Yeah, I frankly, I don't like anything about this matchup. Like you guys just said, every team seems like the exact same now. And this matchup being in New Orleans, I mean, I guess I would lean toward New Orleans in this game, but other than that, I got nothing really on it. It's another game I wouldn't touch.
I guess if the NFL, when they talked about having parity, wanted
Well, they're getting it.
wanted teams that would show up one week and not show up the next week,
Yeah. They
Then
wanted everyone to be the Lions.
then congratulations, you got it.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, like you got even teams like Kansas City, they lost to Indianapolis
Yep.
when Indianapolis was fucking bad.
Still have no idea how that happened.
I agree. I still have no idea who Indianapolis is. Like they look like dog shit, but they beat Kansas City. I
I
don't
think
know.
with Ellinger going in there now, we can pretty much settle on dog shit.
Yeah, you're already giving up on that kid. You're already like, yep, they're
Yeah,
just
no.
mailing it in now. They want that draft pick.
I don't even think it's a draft pick thing. I think it has everything to do with the fact that if Matt Ryan gets hurt, they have to pay him every dime on that contract. So I think they're just like, you know what? We'll just go ahead and sit you down. We'll cut you at the end of the year, and we won't have to pay anything.
We won't have to pay you a dime.
Yep. That's all I think that move is.
Well, and let's face it, Matt Ryan he had one good week.
That's why I said last week.
Yeah,
He's
one
not
good-
been worth shit.
He had one good week. And then guys like me and Andrew were like, yeah, he's going to have another one. Mm-hmm. And he didn't.
Nope.
And he
Tried
didn't.
to tell him.
Survey says
It's the two things I tried to tell him last week. Chuba was going to get carries, and Matt Ryan was ass.
Matt Ryan. Yes,
I didn't disagree with you, Chuba. I disagree with you with Matt Ryan. But
you see these.
it was
He's
it was
terrible.
way worse than I expected.
Reminds me of like
worse.
what's his nuts in any given Sunday, Cap Rooney. Like he just kept
Yeah.
playing, and it's like, dude, you're done. You're washed up,
And
man.
you're just done.
You're done. Stop.
And the other guy I see going down that road is Derek Carr. They're just gonna put him in there until the wheels completely fall off.
He's
and
got
it's
a ways.
coming.
He's got a ways to go, though.
Bro.
But I think that's
how
how
many years are we gonna fucking say that though?
No, I'm talking about years to play. I mean, Matt,
Oh.
Matt Ryan's fucking 40 or whatever he
Yeah.
is. So like,
But I mean, you're seeing that with Brady now.
what,
This
40
year.
at 45.
Yeah,
finally, you're seeing
it,
the
and
wheels
you're
fall
like,
off.
oh,
but
And part of me still says, but it is only 1 year. Like, it's Tom Brady. The chances of him coming back next year and going back to Tom Brady, I wouldn't doubt it.
I do at this point, and I'm a huge Tom Brady fan. I do.
But it's
I think
Tom
he's
Brady.
done.
But it's Tom
But
Brady.
I mean, even that is. I feel like teams now would even be like, do I really want Tom Brady
honestly,
at this point in his career?
Yeah, I agree with that too.
I think Tampa's regretting bringing him back.
I would at this point.
I think
I would.
They're also regretting letting Arians go up to the front office, but
Well, it was either Brady or Arians. It's one or the other.
I think it's a combination. I mean, you saw what Brady did with Belichick. And you go to somebody like Arians, who I'm not going to say is equally as good, but has that type of mind as well.
Right.
I think it was a combination. Who is it? Leftwich is still the offensive coordinator over there.
Yeah.
No offense to the dude, but it wasn't exactly like he was the smartest player in the league.
Fair. You got anything you like fantasy in this matchup?
Yeah. So I mean, I have Derek Carr rated. I think about top 10-ish. Let's see, maybe
I hope you're right.
I do too.
he's 11th. I got him rated 11th. So he's starter territory in a 12-team league this week. I have him in one league, and I'm actually starting Tua over him. Obviously, the Detroit thing and the better weapon thing.
Yeah, it's a better matchup.
And he's just a better quarterback thing.
Looking at Alvin Kamara, though, I do really like him in this game. He's had a lot of runs since coming back in Week 5 after being injured. He's played at least, I think, 69-70% of the snaps on a weekly basis, averaging 24 touches, 141 yards. He's 26th in yards after contact per attempt, so he looks like he's getting going. The first part of the season, you were really disappointed in who you drafted there with Alvin Kamara, but he's started to get going. They've been giving him the carries. He's been getting a little more juice. So I'm happy with the way that's going. And with Andy Dalton in there, he's actually getting thrown the ball again, like he was with
Red Rifle?
like he was with Drew Brees. So like when Jameis Winston was in there, he wasn't throwing Kamara the ball. He wasn't even looking at him. He was just chucking the ball down the field at all times.
That's what James does, man.
I know.
He's a chucker.
He just chucks it down the field.
He's a chucker.
Such a
Like-
damn shame. Everybody, every year, like this is, and I say everybody because I said it this year. Jameis is going to turn around. Jameis is going to turn around.
I mean, he had eye surgery and everything.
Dude, he fucking sucks. Like, there is no other way to put it at this point. He fucking sucks.
Yep. I mean, and
And
with
he's a weirdo.
and he is a weirdo.
He is a weirdo. That is accurate.
But with the combination of Andy Dalton as the quarterback and Taysom Hill coming in for the Wildcat and playing all the weird positions he plays at all times,
Is this another week where Taysom Hill has a fucking big week, or is it just?
I think it is because I actually picked him in one of my leagues to
So
play.
that's why it's going to be a big week because you picked him. To,
No. There was other
Yes.
tight ends I could play in one of my leagues.
Right.
I had Travis Kelce.
Chris, that's exactly it.
There was
obviously it has to be.
But if you look at the progression of the weeks that he goes off, it's like one every 3 weeks. So if you're doing it like that,
Yeah.
it's might as well roll the dice.
fair,
I would.
To use wrestling terms, Joe's smarter than us, and we know it.
Joe's definitely not smarter than you guys.
Joe agrees.
Joe agrees. No, but in
All
all
the things Joe agrees with us saying he's smarter than us, he's going to argue.
it's one of those things where you look at it. If there's going to be he hasn't it's been 2 weeks since he went off.
3, I think.
So I mean,
2, 3, somewhere in there.
he's due. If you look at the way it goes with him, it's a pattern. Like he'll have 1 week where he goes off, and then it'll be like 2 or 3, and then. Thank you, honey. Thank you. That's beautiful. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. All right.
Is that
I got
a unicorn or
it's
Groot?
it's a unicorn.
Okay.
Oh,
She colored me a unicorn. I lost my train of thought.
You were worried about doing this with just you.
Yeah, that would have never happened. It was a smart move to call that show off.
yeah, I think so.
So, yeah. Anyway, back to Taysom Hill.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're going by the law of averages on Taysom Hill's big games, it's worth it to roll the dice on him this week. It's been a couple weeks since he's had a big game. He could always lay a dud. I mean, he lays more duds than he does have big games. But when you look at the law of averages with the way he plays, he's got a big one coming up. It's going to be a week here in the either this week or next week. He's going to have a huge week. He's going to get like 2 rushing touchdowns, like 100 rushing yards, and then he'll disappear for a few weeks. Mm-hmm. It's the way it always works with him. Jacobs. I don't know what else I can say about Josh Jacobs. That dude is fucking awesome this year.
He is.
And
Yeah, well, it's funny when you actually use them properly.
yeah, that's Frank. How long have we been preaching?
Bro,
They don't use Josh Jacobs properly.
You've been in the fantasy league for what, 3 years now?
In your yeah. Yep.
And I've drafted every single year
I
with
think
the
so.
exception of this year?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, just waiting for them to fucking use this guy the way he's supposed to be used.
And now they are.
Now they are, and so one year
And
you
your,
don't
team
have them.
and your team still sucks.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's not.
So does mine.
It's not like I'm upset about it because.
No, I'm talking about his team, like the Raiders.
Oh,
Still suck.
oh, got you. Okay, all right.
Well, I mean, both. Yeah.
Fair.
Except I win on basically a bye week.
That's the way it works.
Still haven't figured that one out. I'm the opposite of the Lions.
Right.
I win bye weeks.
But Josh Jacobs, he's playing 83% of the snaps at running back position. That's one that's unheard of for anybody.
That's a lot.
2,
And it still
That was-
baffles me they're going to let him walk after the season.
they're basically running him till the wheels fall off, and then going to let him go and go to somewhere else.
Yep.
But he's making a huge case for himself. He's going to have a huge payday because the way he's playing this year,
Somebody's going to overpay him.
somebody's going to pay him a ton of
For
money.
sure.
Yep.
Which,
And
again-
good for him. I'm happy for him because he's finally being used and he's finally getting the play that he should get. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, no. Somebody's going to overpay that dude. And you see with running backs now that the running backs that have gotten paid, you don't need to do that anymore. Like,
No.
That position is going, like, money-wise. If a running back wants, $10 million a year or whatever, no.
Bye.
Yeah, no.
Honestly, it's like Lev Bell was one of the last to end up getting the bag before running backs completely became, I'm not going to say irrelevant. but
They're not irrelevant.
They're
but
not
they're
a necessity
they're-
like
yeah,
they were.
They're
No,
not.
because you can find guys
You can.
that can fill that. Look, again, we talked about him earlier in the matchup. Eno Benjamin. Mm-hmm. This guy was a third-string running back who, Yeah, had some talk before preseason, but listen, he's come out and played awesome. He's been awesome in the 3 weeks he started. Jeff Wilson was a third string running back, then a second string running back, then starter because of necessity, and he played awesome. I mean, they're actually looking at possibly being able to trade him and get something for him to another team.
And look at even in Detroit's situation, just because I'm watching them the most. Craig Reynolds, third string running back. And he's still putting up 50, 60 yards sometimes. Like, it's just.
Well, you look at Jamal Williams. They're not paying him a ton of money.
For a backup running back,
Right,
that
they're not-
guy's a stud.
They're not paying him a ton of money.
Yeah.
But he comes out and plays. Dearness Johnson for Cleveland. Like third string running back.
Yeah.
Last year at some points, there was, again, kind of silly, but there were some people going, oh, maybe he should be the starter. First of all, you got Nick Chubb. Shut the fuck up. Second of all, you also have Kareem Hunt. Shut the fuck up. But
Well, it's like I was saying about Pollard at the beginning of the season. Like, I really think Pollard at some point could take that starting job from Zeke. Zeke's having a much better year, so I don't know that that's going to happen.
Right.
But from the numbers he put up last year, like, you've got two running backs that, even though one's a superstar, one's only a little bit better than the other one.
At this point, yeah. Yeah. And I don't necessarily even like Pollard, but he when he gets play, he can get the job done.
And neither
So-
do I, because I had Zeke last year. But
No, but with Tony Pollard, he has the potential to have bigger plays than Zeke does at this point.
He has bigger potential to break it. Yeah. Yeah. He's got a little more burst for sure.
All right, next up we got New England taking on the New York Jets. 52% of the money is on New England laying 3.
Jets.
Right. 51% of the money is on the over at 40, and 66% of the money is on New York money line at plus 140. I like the Jets in this. I would take Jets money line on this one. I love that. I do. I like how that team's played. I know they don't have Breece Hall anymore, but
they
who the fuck is starting for New England? Is Mac Jones starting?
hold on, let me see.
I believe he.
I was going to say, I don't know.
I'm almost positive they announced that Mac Jones is starting.
They
this
said on Tuesday the plan was to, or
Right.
on Wednesday the
But I know
plan
he's
was
been-
to start him.
week. That's
So
what
it says here, Jones looks like he'll get his starting job back this
Okay.
week with the uncertainty that he could be pulled at the drop of a hat. Jones is a low-end quarterback, too.
but like we saw on Monday night, you put Bailey Zappi in, and it's like, and it worked out for the first 2 series,
Yeah, it looks great
and
for 8 plays.
and then it didn't.
It looks great when the wide receiver who doesn't even want you in the game is making great plays to make you look
Right,
good.
exactly.
And then,
Then it didn't.
Then he goes, why am I doing this?
yeah.
So again, I don't know who's playing quarterback for New England. I'm assuming it's going to be Mac Jones, but like I said, the plus 140 for the Jets on the money line, I dig that. I would hammer the hell out of that thing.
I would take Jets money line, and so the value index here has New England barely winning this game, basically 23-22, and that points you to taking the Jets with getting the points, taking the 3 points. But I would also take them money line as well. They've been a damn good team this year, and Robert Saleh, who the Lions should have taken as their coach, has that team playing very, very well. The Jets have given up only the 10th lowest success rate per drop back for quarterbacks, which is a huge step up from last year. 6th lowest yards per attempt, the 12th lowest passing touchdown rate. Their defense is on point.
Yeah.
And what did Robert Saleh do? He was a defensive coordinator for San Francisco. So imagine getting a defensive coordinator as a head coach and having your defense play well. I know Lions fans don't know what that's like because they got a defensive coach in Matt Patricia who was actually a rocket scientist, and their defense took quite a few steps down. So I don't know. I know that's probably why Detroit didn't want Robert Saleh, is because they knew they knew what they would get with him, and they like rolling the dice more. They like to have a wild card at coach, and they want to see, like, we don't know what we're getting with this guy.
Yeah,
he could be good, he could be dog shit. We don't know.
I
We're
mean,
just gonna fucking
it's clearly working out for them.
yeah. I mean, they don't like knowing that they have a guy that can actually do the job, which is why they passed on Saleh. I get it.
Will you guys please just fucking win finally? So I can stop listening to this.
You like anything fantasy wise in this game?
Yeah, I actually do. So, I like the Jets defense, honestly. I wouldn't even be against New England defense. I think this is going to be a low scoring game. I don't,
That's why over under is at 40.
yeah, and I don't even think it'll hit that. Truthfully, I think it'll be a lower scoring game. I think you could play the running backs in this one. So James Robinson just got traded for by the Jets, but he's not going to get a lot of play, right? He just got there. Michael Carter, I do kind of like him in this game. Ramondre Stevenson, Damian Harris, I like them. And wide receiver wise, really the only one I like in this game is Jacoby Myers. He's the only one getting any play on New England. That dude is
And Sauce is going to be covering him.
he's a target fucking monster.
Right.
Like you see the catches he makes too.
Right.
Like Jacoby Myers is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the game
That's
right
the
now.
reason I don't
honestly.
like that matchup. Is because
Sauce is going to be covering him most of the time, I think.
But maybe garbage time touchdowns or garbage time catches. I don't know.
I mean, really quietly, Jacoby Myers is having a really, really good fantasy year. I think he's 14th in fantasy points
right?
per game.
Wow.
Being the 14th being the 14th best wide receiver.
All right, Tyson. Take it easy, Tyson.
Stole the joke from me.
14th best wide receiver. That's pretty damn good. I mean, you're 14th best.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn good, and he's done it very quietly. So, I'm playing him every week if I have him, just because he's a target monster. He eats him up, man.
Anything else?
No.
All right.
No, nothing else. Good to go.
Next up, we got the Battle of Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh taking on Philadelphia. 58% of the money is on the Eagles laying 11. 70% of the money is on the under at 42.5. 88% of the money is on Philly money line at minus 550. So don't even waste your time with the fucking money line if you're going to take Philly.
Yeah. No. I wouldn't do that at all.
I think it's a big spread. I do. Especially for like an in-state like rivalry, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a drastic difference in those teams.
There is. There absolutely is. But
That's a big spread, and
it's a huge spread. And frankly, I don't like anything about this game, like betting wise. I just don't.
So the value index tells you to take Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It basically says Philly's going to win by 9.
Okay.
So
I say 11 is a lot, man.
yeah, so they're telling you to take the points in this one. Yeah, I'm with you, Chris. I don't know if I'm going to put anything on either side of this one. I think I might just. I really enjoy watching Philly. I've enjoyed watching Philly for a couple of years now. I enjoy that franchise. I kind of am just going to sit back and enjoy watching Philly score points on Pittsburgh. And with that being said, it's not like Pittsburgh can't keep up a little bit. You know
I think they will.
Enough to keep it within
Yeah.
within the 10.5, 11 points. But again, that Philly defense is damn good too.
It is. It absolutely is. I think they can keep Najee in check. I like to see what they're going to do to keep Kenny Pickett in check.
So the one thing that bothers me about if Philly didn't always take their foot off the gas
which they do all the time.
and just kept going, I'd be all about taking Philly minus the points. What bothers me about that is
They play that prevent a win defense bullshit.
They do all the time. Second half for them is always a little bit of a letdown. Like they get up and then they just kind of back off.
Yep.
And that's when I think Pittsburgh can score a little bit and get back in the game a little bit. If they keep their foot on the gas on both sides of the ball, they could blow the shit out of Pittsburgh.
They could.
But it's whether Sirianni's actually going to have them do that.
I don't think he's gonna have them do that.
The track record says he won't.
Nope.
Touchdown Broncos.
Oh,
I don't care. Sorry,
I
buddy.
don't care.
What's the score?
What is the score?
It is 14-10, and Russ does not have a single touchdown pass.
Who scored for Denver?
Jerry Jeudy on an end around,
Okay.
and then Melvin Gordon just scored on a 1-yard rush.
All right.
Yep.
That's terrific.
14-10 Broncos, and Russ has done basically nothing.
Sounds like a hell of a game.
Though he did just have a nice pass.
Cool.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the best I can
Good
say
job.
about the guy.
He had a nice pass.
So it sounds like a hell of a
Good,
game.
good job, buddy. Ay, ay, ay.
Have any of those games been good? Over in London?
No. Same as most of the Thursday night games aren't good.
I mean, the Giants-Packers game was all right.
I was gonna say I kind of enjoyed that just because watching the Giants beat the Packers was
Oh yeah, that was
not
that was
something I saw
That's,
coming.
I feel like that's before we knew
Yeah,
the
it was
Giants
all right.
were actually good.
yeah,
yeah that was. You're right.
that was
we
kind
watched
of the
that while
week
we were on
we
the air.
started questioning it. Yeah, we were on the air. We're sitting there going, "This is for
Are the
real.
Giants good?
Like we're gonna watch the
but
end of this
we're also
right now."
but we're also seeing how not very good the Packers are. Yeah. Like Rodgers calling out his teammates like after every week is just at some point, like as a teammate, you just gotta be like, dude, shut the fuck up, man.
Every week he's starting to do it every play.
Seriously, it's crazy. But it's like, I get you're a Hall of Fame quarterback. I understand that, but it's like
He ain't playing like one.
I get you're a Hall of Fame quarterback. I get the fact that they haven't gotten you any help. I get the fact that there's pretty much dog shit at wide receiver.
Yeah.
I get it all. But
like, why the fuck would you agree to go back?
I mean, the funny thing is, he agreed to go back, and then they traded his number one
Right.
wide receiver. They're like, "Oh, you're coming back? Cool. Say goodbye to him. He's going somewhere else."
yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
They're like, "Well, now that we paid you, we can't afford to pay anybody for you to throw the ball to."
For real.
So yeah. But at a certain point, if you're paid that well as a Hall of Fame quarterback, sometimes you got to just get the best out of the players you have.
Yeah.
And to his credit, throughout his career, Tom Brady's done that.
Yeah. He has.
Aaron Rodgers, not so much.
Fair.
So, back to the Philly-Pittsburgh game.
Yes.
I do like some plays in this one. I like George Pickens. I mean, he's like a wide receiver 3 right now, but Kenny Pickett loves throwing to him. I think he's led the team in targets the last few weeks.
I think this is the game Kenny Pickett gets garbage time points.
He could, yeah.
I can see that.
He could. I very well could see that. Like we talked about, Philly takes their foot off the gas, so they play prevent a win defense, and very well could have some points scored on that end. I don't dislike Freiermuth in this one. After he came back from that concussion, he's been decent with targets and receptions. I kind of like him in this one as well.
Anything on Pittsburgh you like?
Yeah, well, like I said, Freiermuth
yeah.
and Pickens. Pickett maybe as like a wide as a quarterback 2 in a 2-quarterback league, as far as like you said, garbage time.
Yeah.
I'm playing everybody on the Philadelphia side of it, even Devontae Smith and Miles Sanders, Dallas Goedert. Like I don't think you can afford to sit any of those guys. I mean, I know Goddard hasn't been terrific all year, but
No.
this week I do have him rated as number 3.
Oh shit.
With the buys that are going on and everything. I got him up there at 3. Because you got Kelsey off this week, and obviously Andrews already played. So
Right. Okay. Next up in the game, oh my God. There's another game that I just don't care about at all. I want nothing to do with it. Tennessee taking on Houston. Again, what the fuck is Tennessee 4-2? 82% of the money is on Tennessee laying 1. 64% of the money is on the over at 39. And 86% of the money is on Tennessee money line at -115. I got nothing on this game at all. I think Houston's going to win, though.
See, I'm just the opposite. I'm really interested to see how Willis does.
that's what I'm interested in too.
Yeah.
I want to see this.
Because if he plays like he did some of the time in preseason,
Yeah.
I could see Tennessee potentially just rolling with him moving forward.
Oh, I think that's going to happen regardless.
I do too.
That was my pick at the beginning of the year. For
Yeah,
the first
I
quarterback
think that's going to
bench.
happen whether he sucks today or not. I think it's
Yeah.
going to happen regardless.
Yeah, I think he's the starter from here on out. I don't think they're making this move just as a temporary thing. I think they're making this move. It's going to be him.
Tannehill's hurt.
Is he hurt?
That's what I had read yesterday.
Really? Oh, he's dealing with an illness and an ankle injury.
There you go.
Pussy.
Oh.
But in this game, like I said, I guess I'll tune into it somewhat.
And here I thought
on
he was
Red
getting
Zone
benched.
just to see Willis. I am kind of curious to see how he plays. But I think Houston's going to win this game. I don't know, just call it feeling, but I think Houston's going to win this game.
So I think they very well could. It's going to be a close game according to this. It's 21.
Davis Mills, baby.
21-20 Tennessee is what this has. So it has you taking Tennessee, but I think Houston has all the chance to win this game. I don't think they're. I think this is going to be a very close game. This is one of those games that could go either direction, especially with a rookie Malik Willis starting. Really, that's Frank hit it. That's the main thing I'm looking for in this game. Is I want to see how he plays. I want to see if he comes out and gives this team a little bit of a spark. Right. I want his
Houston's
running
the
ability.
team.
Yeah, I mean
That's who you want to do it against.
it's a decent matchup for a kid like him.
Yep.
Coming out with your first start. He's on the quarterback 2 radar, honestly, for 2 quarterback leagues. I wouldn't mind with the bye weeks that are happening, with some of the injuries that have happened, with guys like Russell Wilson being dog shit, things like that. Malik Willis is not a bad quarterback 2 flyer this week. He gets you rushing potential, maybe a rushing touchdown. I wouldn't mind rolling the dice on a guy like Malik Willis as a quarterback 2, even in his first start.
If we were allowed a third quarterback, he would be on my bench right now.
I agree. When I heard he was, I actually jumped out and picked him up in a couple leagues that I could carry more than like I'm in a couple 2 quarterback leagues where you can carry as many quarterbacks as you want to. I jumped in and picked him up.
Yeah, like I don't blame you whatsoever. It's again risk reward. The potential that guy has is through the roof.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And then
Sorry, I was placing a bet.
Oh no, you good?
running back. Well,
I wanted to place it before I forgot about it.
do tell.
Did you go with the Jets?
I did go with the Jets. Yes.
Right as we were talking about it, I
Yeah.
grabbed the phone and I was like, man.
Andrew says 24-20 Titans. Henry running all day. Funny you say that. I actually have Derrick Henry rated as my number 1 running back on the week. I also have Dameon Pierce rated in the top 10. I think he's going to have a good game as well. His utilization all season has been monster, and you can't afford to have him on your bench. I mean, they use him like he's a veteran number 1 running back, so his usage is just off the charts. Got to play him. But yeah, I'm with you, Andrew. I think Derrick Henry has a very good game today. They're going to have to lean on him. They got Malik Willis starting at quarterback. They're going to have to lean on him. And I think Malik Willis will play into that a little bit. Malik Willis, in having the ability to run the ball and being a dual threat quarterback, even more than Tannehill is, because Tannehill can run, that will open up some lanes for Derrick Henry. I think they'll actually run some RPOs. They'll run a few plays that can open up some bigger lanes for Derrick Henry, which can help him out in this game as well.
Nice. Well said. Yeah. Next up, oh God.
Thanks.
Dude, another craptastic matchup. We got the Washington Redskins taking on the Indianapolis Colts.
I think this one is more craptastic than any one we've talked about
I think
today.
you're right.
This is the one game where I would say I have no desire to see a single fucking snap, other than if I see something on Red Zone about Brian Robinson getting a touchdown or playing well, because I just am a fan of that kid.
Unless
at this
it's
point.
Terry McLaurin scoring 5 touchdowns, that's all I care about. But
I'm a fan of Brian Robinson at this point with his story, and just I love seeing that kid play. Other than that, I could care less about anybody in this matchup. And I have Jonathan Taylor in like 3 different leagues, and I still don't give a shit.
fair enough.
I don't want to call the guy a disappointment, but what a bummer he's been.
It's that offense. I mean, he's still the same player. He had 10 carries last week.
Oh, I know.
That's it.
10.
Yeah.
How the fuck
That's
do
why
you
I
give,
was saying, like, just
how do you give Jonathan Taylor 10 carries? 10. I wish it was 9. It would sound funnier. 9.
9
times.
Yeah.
They only ran the ball with him 10 times.
Like, that's egregiously bad.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. His usage is awful this year, and Frank Reich is borderline on the verge of needing to be fired.
He
Oh, yeah.
probably should have been fired already, to be honest.
It's awful. It's awful.
But yeah, when your quarterback options are Sam Ellinger and Matt Ryan, the fact that your all-world running back only has 10 touches is completely unbelievable.
It's not ideal.
Fucking ridiculous.
Frank Reich, you are an embarrassment to the name Frank.
Yes.
Well, with that being said, 78% of the money is on Washington getting 3. 67% of the money is on the under at 39.5, and 70% of the money is on the Redskins money line at plus 130.
Yeah, so everything with the value index is telling you to take Washington. It has them winning this game, and with them getting points, that tells you to just lean in the way of Washington. Take the points, take a money line, and I kind of lean that direction as well. Listen, you got Sam, is it Ellinger?
Ellinger.
Sam Ellinger, yeah.
Ellinger. I don't know, whatever, however you pronounce his name.
Only reason I know the dude's name was I was collecting a lot of cards at the time when he was a rookie. So
Yeah, Sam Ellinger. Listen, I don't want to pass judgment on him. I don't really know much about him.
nothing to know.
Heineke's getting the start again, obviously, because Wentz is out.
Taylor Heineken?
Yeah, Taylor Heineken.
Yes.
And I don't know this factually, but does that dude have more starts than any other quarterback in Washington in the last few years?
I believe he does. Yeah.
It'd be hard to say he doesn't.
I also think he probably has more wins than any other quarterback.
That's just it's such a. They are like
I don't know that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
that franchise now is like the Arizona Coyotes of the NFL. Like seriously, it's just an embarrassment of a fucking franchise now.
Bro, those locker rooms are
Oh, so bad. Like if I'm not even kidding. If I was a Coyotes player or an opposing player, I'd say no. I'm not fucking playing in this game.
I
No,
will say though,
that's ridiculous.
if you ever played at Glacier Point, they're like 12 of those locker rooms put
that right?
together. Yeah,
It's. I mean, shit. Even the locker rooms at Frazier were better than that shit.
barely,
Barely, but they were better.
Difference is you didn't get hot water there.
Fair, yes.
Andrew says JT getting 20 touches today. Hopefully it's more than 20. Hopefully he gets 20 carries and then also gets about 5 catches. So I'll take 25, but they need to rely on him, Andrew. They need to put a lot of stock in giving the ball to Jonathan Taylor this week. That has to happen.
Sam's
It has
just
to.
throwing the ball all day long.
And he said, Andrew said, we got that Sam auto, Frank.
We did get that Sam autograph. The most pointless fucking card we ever pulled, I think. But
Oh, okay.
That's gonna be worth something someday. No.
maybe. Hey, dude, there's
Hey,
a lot of
never know.
no-name players that if they end up good, like, I'm sitting on some money.
Straight cash, homie. Are we done with that game?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I said, Brian Robinson is intriguing to me. I want to see his usage rate is increasing, 51.4% of the rushing attempts. I want to see him get more targets. I want to see him get more carries. I think as the season goes on, he's just going to build up more and more. They want to rely on him, and I think they can. I'm intrigued to see how he keeps getting increased usage, and hopefully he can take that and run with it. No pun intended.
Right. Next up, we got. I suppose this is a sexy matchup because these two teams actually don't like each other. The Niners and the Rams. This is basically a pretty straight up match when you look at the betting aspect of it.
I think the Niners defense is going to eat them up.
They need to. They after that embarrassment last week.
I grabbed the Niners defense and I was like, Matt Stafford, yes, please.
At least one pick six. You good?
Yeah. So 75% of the money is on San Francisco they're giving up a half point. So 65% of the money is on the over at 41.5, and 63% of the money is on San Francisco money line at minus 109.
Yeah, this is one of those true pick'em games.
It really is.
Because it bounces from San Francisco giving up one to LA giving up one, like depending on what book you go at,
right?
What book you go to. So it's definitely genuinely a pick'em. And the value index here has San Francisco being the team to take here. They have them winning about 22 to 19, so they have them winning by 3.
Like I want to hammer San Francisco in this game. I do. But then I realized Jimmy G's their fucking quarterback, and I can't. That precludes me from doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you there. I really can't blame you at all.
Like I feel like San Francisco should just destroy this fucking Rams because the Rams team is. I'm sorry, they're not very good.
They're not. They're not this year. They're not very good at all. and Stafford's arm is bothering him. You can't tell me it's not.
It clearly
can't.
is.
Yeah,
Dude can't throw the ball downfield anymore.
Hey, just keep starting them. It's a better Lions draft pick. Just keep fucking starting them.
Well,
My hope is that they finish second to last. The Lions get first and second overall.
And they'll find a way to fuck those picks up, too.
Yep. But it's a whole hour's worth of jokes for us.
Yep. So, looking at fantasy, this is probably going to be the slowest paced game on the slate, if not one of. Both these teams are going to play at a very slow pace. Run the ball methodically, dink and dunk. That's what they do. You all right over there, buddy?
I'm just looking at the next matchup, dude.
Gotcha. Probably one of the better matchups on the week.
Who'd have thought?
Would have never said that before the year, but when you look at these two teams, for fantasy wise, Jimmy G's been quarterback 9 in 3 consecutive weeks, so he's been a top 12.
I have no idea how that's even possible.
Because fantasy and reality are two different things, bro.
Jesus.
But fantasy wise, he's been quarterback 9 in 3 consecutive weeks, so he's borderline a QB1. I mean, he's up there.
Yeah.
If you got him as a QB2, he's a safe QB2.
And he has brought the value of Brandon Ayuk up so much.
Well, that's a dude that's going to have to step up this week because Debo's out.
I'm gonna have to.
With Jimmy G, dude, he's been eating.
When you look at the running game, Christian McCaffrey had 40% of the rushing attempts last week in his first game with San Francisco.
Been on the team for 5 days.
That's only going to increase this week. And Jeff Wilson as the backup was a starter before that, so he's got run as well. I think they're going to run all over this Rams team. It's going to be a slow paced game. I like the under in this game, and I like the rushing game for San Francisco. Like you said, Debo's out. Ayuk's somebody's got to eat up some targets here, right? I don't think they're going to throw the ball a ton, but somebody's got to eat up the targets. Ayuk's the guy, right? Cooper Kupp, you're not sitting him. Allen Robinson, who knows? I mean, is he weekend at Bernie's Allen Robinson, or is he actually Allen Robinson? I don't know at this point. Are they just propping him up out there and pushing him over as like a decoy? I don't know at this point. It's a lot of people drafted him to be their wide receiver too.
Yeah.
And what a bad fucking move that was.
It's
just been awful.
I still just have those people in the offseason ringing in my head going, he's never had a quarterback like Stafford before.
I mean, he's black, too.
He still hasn't had a quarterback like Stafford.
That's a fair point.
Stafford's not even Stafford right now.
That is a fair point. Some quick injury updates before we move on to the next game. Officially active, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Devontae Adams, Dalton Schultz, Micah Parsons, Nelson Aguilar, and Matt Prater are officially active. Officially inactive, Zeke, Darren Waller, and Joe Flacco.
All right, two of those names matter.
That's why I was sitting here. I was like, Joe Flacco, why is that even?
I don't know why he's
report?
even on. It doesn't make any sense to me, but he's on there for whatever reason.
On a side note for this game, I do have Kittle rated as my number 1 tight end on the week. At this point, obviously Andrews is done playing. Kelsey's not playing because he's on a bye. So yeah, I have him rated as the number 1 tight end of the week.
By default, he's number 1.
And by default, he's number 1. And also, Debo out. They're going to have to rely on him a little bit more. They're going to have to not have him in blocking as much as they do these days, and they're going to have to get him out there running routes. And he has looked pretty good in recent weeks, so I do like him in this game.
Nice. Anything else?
Nah,
All
we're
right.
good. We can move on.
Move on to the sexiest matchup of the week.
Honestly, we all had this. So we all had this. It is the New York Football Giants taking on the Seattle Sea Chickens. 67% of the money is on the Giants getting 3. 55% of the money is on the over at 44.5. 69% of the money is on New York Giants.
69.
There you go. Is on New York Giants money line at plus 140. I'm rocking the Seahawks in this one.
And the experts kind of say that you should do that. So the line is Giants getting 3, and they have the Giants winning by 5. So you got about a 2-point value index there on Seattle. So
Honestly, I think Seattle's just going to win the game.
well, that's what they have.
Yeah.
They have Seattle winning by 5.
Okay.
So
I thought you said they had the Giants.
no,
You-
they have
okay.
Seattle winning by
Yeah,
5.
it sounded like you said Giants.
Yeah, that's that was.
Oh.
No, it's all, whatever.
Yeah, they have Seattle winning by 5. So the Giants are getting 3 points, but they have Seattle winning by 5, which
Yep.
means you get a 2-point index for Seattle, 2-point cushion.
Nice.
I'd take the Giants, man. I just like what I've seen. And that really disgusts me saying that about a Daniel Jones quarterback team. But
You know what's
I
going to
really do like what I've seen from them.
You know what sways me towards Seattle? The Giants have been
Geno Smith.
no, no. It's gonna be another surprise.
Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, K9.
That dude's been a beast.
He might be a top 3 running back in the league right this second, and
I think
the
he's-
Giants are not good against the run.
They are not.
I genuinely think I'm the only person not surprised by Kenneth Walker being a stud.
I think that's your leader in the
Well-
clubhouse for Rookie of the Year.
At this point, it is. Yeah, it was Brees Hall, but he got hurt.
Yeah.
So
And even with the injury at the beginning of the season.
Right.
Like, he didn't start off
no,
full time right away. I don't
No.
even think he played the first week.
I don't think he played the first 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been like shit, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean-
he's been a stud.
He has been.
And on the other side of the ball, you got Saquon Barkley, who has
Finally.
re-emerged
Finally.
as a stud. Right? I mean, he's.
That dude is the closest thing to Barry Sanders we've seen since Barry Sanders. Just the way he runs.
Yeah.
I agree.
Just took 5 years for us to see it.
It did.
Well, we saw it the first year, and then it took us 5 more to see it again.
Right.
Oh, yeah, because he was hurt for the next 4.
And that's been the thing, right? Could he stay healthy? And everyone's still questioning, can he stay healthy?
Hopefully
for the
he
rest of the
stays
season?
healthy because I like watching him run the ball.
I thoroughly enjoy
He's a
Saquon Barkley.
fucking hell of a player to watch.
And then, like I said, Kenneth Walker, he's 71% of the rushing attempts at this point with Penny not playing and being out. He's had 10 red zone opportunities. He's the man there, and he's been
Who would have thought him and Gino, baby?
every bit of a
Him and
starting
Gino.
running back in the league.
Let Gino cook, baby.
Yeah,
Let's ride.
I should never change that team name. Should have left it as Let Gino Cook.
Let Gino cook, man.
That was a funny joke in 1 week, and then all of a sudden it became a fucking
Like-
reality.
well, and you look at Kenneth Walker, right? So since he's taken over the starting job, he's averaged 23.5 touches and 139 total yards a game. He's been the RB8 and the RB3 in fantasy. He's completely owned the red zone work. Like he gets all the red zone work. You're running like this guy could be a league winner for you if you have him in fantasy. That's no joke. And everyone talks about league winners being like guys like Jonathan Taylor, guys that you draft in the first round. No, league winners are the ones that you get off the waiver wire or in round 8, 10. Those are league winners. Guys like Tyler Boyd, who's now going to be the starting wide receiver because Jamar Chase is out.
Yeah, he's out
for 4 to 6 weeks with a hip injury. Guys like Kenneth Walker, who take over the running back role because of an injury and just take off with it. Those are league winners. And Kenneth Walker can be a league winner for you in fantasy.
Yes.
100%.
Do you like anybody on the New York side of the ball other than Saquon?
Wendell Robinson, I like he's finally healthy and he's emerging to get some targets here.
I was going to say, is that their receiver now?
They traded, because
I don't know any of their receivers at
so
this point.
Darius Slayton,
Okay.
and then Wendell Robinson, who is going to be their slot guy. He was talked about highly at camp, and he's was very highly touted by the organization, by people who were watching him play. Then he got hurt. He actually got hurt the first week, like after the first play, and he's just getting ramped up. He had a 27.6% target share last week. It's just going to get higher and higher, and he's got great hands. He's good at getting open. He's fast. I think you're gonna see, if you want to put him on your bench and just see how it rides out, I think you'll be happy with him coming into the second half of the season. I do like him, and he can get some play in this game as well.
Okay. Next up, we have the Sunday night game. Green Bay taking on Buffalo. 51% of the money is on Green Bay getting 10.5. And 59% of the money is on the under at 47. 90% of the money is on Buffalo money line at minus 500. I think that's a big spread. I do.
That's what she said.
Yes. She's open like 7-Eleven, baby.
Just call her a pinata.
That's
She's
right.
let everybody hit it.
It's like a doorknob. Everybody gets a turn.
I don't have any.
She's
to
like the
add to
village
this.
bicycle. Everybody gets a ride.
I was gonna say the two of you got to keep going with this because I got nothing to add.
Oh man. Like I said, that's a 10.5 is a lot of points.
Yeah. Yep. And basically the experts are going to tell you to take Green Bay in this. They have Buffalo winning by 6 points. So again, take that with what you will. Not always right, but this right here is pointing to taking Green Bay with the points. It's a lot of points.
Yeah, that's why if I had to go, I would probably go Green Bay on this one if I had to go with anything on the spread.
I agree. And oddly enough, this is just a gut feeling here. I think this might be a little bit of a bounce back game for Aaron Rodgers.
I do too.
I
think that's even in our on Tuesday our picks. That's why I took Green Bay.
Buffalo is they do have a good defense, still a little banged up, but everything points to Aaron Rodgers is not playing well.
Right.
This is just one of those games where Aaron Rodgers comes out and just looks like Aaron Rodgers again. And it's nothing based on like science or like research or anything. It's just one of those gut feelings I have where just feel like he's going to have an Aaron Rodgers game and keep them in this game.
He does play well in prime time. Look at his numbers on prime time.
Yep.
He does.
He's not like Kirk Cousins on prime time. He's the complete opposite of Kirk Cousins.
Complete opposite. Yep.
Yeah, so, again, fantasy-wise, I do think Rodgers is going to have a solid game. And whether it's garbage time points or not, I think he's going to have a solid game.
Right.
Now, who he throws the ball to, I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, I mean, Lazard's been ruled out.
Right.
Sammy Watkins is back. He might play a couple plays.
Yeah, right.
Before he gets hurt again.
Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson are the receivers he's going to be throwing to. And everything would point to, if you think Rodgers is going to have some success, it would point to probably Doubs being the guy.
Yeah.
As being the one that gets most of those receptions.
If
Now,
he can hold on to the ball.
Could this be a random Sammy Watkins game? Like 150 yards and 2 touchdowns?
You think he can have 2 games like that in a year?
I don't really think he had one yet
Yeah, I
this
think
year.
he had one.
Did he have
it was like week 1.
It's not often he's healthy 2 weeks.
That's a
year,
good point.
That's true. So, I mean,
He has a Saquon type year, 12 years into his career. Oh, this is the guy we saw fucking 2 decades ago.
yeah, one of the guys I think gets some run for Green Bay is Robert Tonyan. I think they could lean on Tonyan a little more in this game with the wide receivers banged up. He could get open over the middle a little bit, get some separation across the middle there. And I'm playing everybody for Buffalo.
No.
Just play your guys.
I'm curious to see what Buffalo does at the trade deadline. I think they have to do something.
I think they'd be smart to go after a running back.
I agree.
I don't know why they haven't been in any.
Maybe they have. We just haven't heard about it.
Yeah, you would think they would go all in on a running back because that's what they need so desperately.
Yep.
They pretty much have everything else.
Yep.
Like they got everything else locked down. Go after a running back. Get a running back.
I'm still waiting on Singletary to fucking do something.
I don't think he's going to. I think you've
got
seen
him
what
in-
he is.
I've got him in both leagues, and I'm like, at some point, this dude's got to show
Well, I mean,
up.
Well, he's played, 73% or higher snaps in 3 of the last 4 games.
Number-wise, he's not been...
He's averaging 15.3 touches, 85 total yards,
Yeah.
RB 24. So, I mean, it's not awful, but
Right.
again, that's the best you have on your team. Why? You need to go out there and get it. There's better running backs out there on the trade market right now. You missed out on a couple of them.
Yep.
There's still some better ones out there. And
Yeah, why
Go get one.
Why you did not, I don't want to say sell the house for fucking CMC.
I would have.
Yeah.
I would have.
I don't know if I would have given up that much. I get why they did it, but I don't know. That's just me.
But if you're Buffalo,
And you're in win now. I get it.
you're win now.
Right.
You have everything you need to win now, but the running back.
And that specific running back, it's not often you can acquire even
Like a game changer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top 5 running
Like
back.
he's a guy, and the fact that you don't need to run him 20 times a game, which means you're not going to be wearing him down. You need him, but you need to run him 12 to 15 times a game.
Right.
Get him 5 catches a game, and let him break off some big gains for you. That's what you need on him, and you don't need to run him into the ground.
That's my biggest thing too, though. Like him out of that backfield catching, what it does to that Buffalo team would have been insane.
Yep, I agree wholeheartedly. But I mean, he ended up in San Fran, and we'll see. We'll see how that plays out.
I mean,
but
I know that's one of your Super Bowl.
still is.
Yes.
I still have faith in them. I mean, even if they make it as a wild card, I still believe they have a defense good enough, and they have a good enough team to make it to the Super Bowl again. I don't doubt that.
You want to talk about a pleasant surprise? Travis Etienne. 17 carries, 140 yards already today. 10 minutes left in
Really?
the fourth. Yeah.
Good for him. Good for him.
That's quite the game. Nicely done. What we got? The last matchup of the week, the Monday Nighter. Your favorite, the biggest game of the week.
The Halloween special.
The Halloween special. The Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Cleveland Browns. 85% of the money is on Cincinnati laying 3. 64% of the money is on the over at 45. 89% of the money is on Cincinnati money line at minus 175. Joe, go.
Take Cincinnati.
Take it away, Joe.
Take Cincinnati.
I would not be surprised if your boys pulled this one out, though.
I'd be completely shocked.
I really wouldn't be. Burrow's been hot and cold. Like, yeah, he's figured it out the last few weeks. But, dude, if he ends up playing like he did those first few weeks, I could see Cleveland figuring out how to beat them.
I just don't see that happening. I think they got their kinks worked out, right? They got
I'm
things worked
hoping
out.
that's the case.
Listen, you're down Jamar Chase, but you still have T. Higgins, you still have Tyler Boyd, you still have Hayden Hurst. Cleveland's down. They're basically number one target in the passing game, David Njoku. He's out for a few weeks. Yeah, I mean, you have the running game with Cleveland, which is one of the best in the game. But other than that, you are relying on Jacoby Brisket throwing to Amari Cooper. And
Call him Jacoby Brisket.
yeah,
That's awesome. I like
and
that.
I don't, I mean, I love Brisket, but
I do too.
not
It's
not
delicious.
as not as a quarterback.
Actually, I had some yesterday. It was very tasty.
Yeah, but no, I personally would. Not only does the value index tell you to take Cincinnati, but I'm taking Cincinnati in this game.
Okay.
I'm giving up the points.
Even without Jamar Chase?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. I don't trust that this coaching staff can coach Cleveland to a victory. Do I? Seriously, I don't. Do I believe Cleveland has good enough players to be in this game and possibly win this game? Yes. I don't trust the coaching staff to put them in that position. Period.
So if they lose this game today, do you think Stefanski gets fired, or do you think he's in?
No, but I feel he shouldn't have a job after the end of the year.
That's fair.
Now I'm one of the lowly, lonesome, not actually a Cleveland Brown fan because I get told that all the time.
Oh, that's right, because you're not a real fan.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a real fan because I'm critical of the organization and the shitty moves they make and the fact that they're
honesty
losing.
is not loved.
No, the fact that I hate the fact they're losing makes me not a fan. You should enjoy the fact your team is losing. You should just back them. No matter
Everything's
what.
great.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome when you're losing every week. That's Cleveland Browns fans.
Okay. Yeah, dog. That was
That needs to be on an intro.
That absolutely needs to be on. That needs to be a drop somewhere. Seriously, that was great. Oh my god!
But that's the Cleveland Brown fan base. Everything is awesome. We're losing every week. Everything is awesome. Our team's awesome. We just got to back them. Just back them. Just be a fan.
It's because you have Watson coming back soon.
It's
To
not-
what?
At this point, it's not even gonna fucking
Yeah.
matter.
To what? To finish losing the rest of the season?
Yep.
Like I just
Now it's everything is awesome with a sexual predator. Great.
Yep.
He has 25 counts at this point, 26.
I'm losing count.
And the San Antonio Spurs just cut a guy because he whipped it out. Like,
Does Andrew just like saying off the wall shit?
Because you whipped it out?
Yeah.
No, he just said at least the Lions fan base is better than the Browns fan base. No, I've experienced both fan bases. They're not.
Go ahead. Have at him.
Yeah, they're not. Lions fans are way more delusional than Browns fans. Like way more delusional.
No, it's the funny thing. Sometimes he just says shit just to get you going.
Yeah.
He's figured out the shit he's got to say.
Yeah.
I think they're both delusional fan bases, but I would actually agree with Joe on this. The Lions fan base is significantly worse.
Because at this point, I would say it's about a 50-50 split of Browns fans that are actually tired of the coach and are tired of the bullshit and are tired of losing. And then the other half are the ones that are like, you're not a true fan, you don't support
You're not
the
a true
team.
fan. You can't. You can't be critical of the team,
Right. Lions fan, I mean, and Browns fans aren't delusional every year when they go into it. Most Browns fans, 50% will be honest going into a season and say, I don't know. You know, I was one of those people this year, and there was about half of us that were on that boat this year going, I don't know. This doesn't look like a very good year. This might not pan out too well. Maybe next year with Deshaun when he's been back for a little while and not been out of the league for 2 years without playing and, not going to jail possibly. I don't know. But this year there was about half the fan base that was not on board and not really thinking this was going to be a great year. Lions fans every single year.
We're going.
This is their year.
We're going.
This is the year, guys.
Promised land, baby.
It's the year. And then about 6 games into it, they turn coat and go, well, what did you expect?
Yeah.
We don't have anybody on the team.
Yeah.
You got to own it, man.
As
As many
I-
weeks into the season, this is the year. We're
Yeah.
doing it this year, boys.
Right.
This is the year.
6 weeks into the season. Well, what did you expect? It's not going to be the year. We don't have anybody.
You got anything else on the Cincinnati-Cleveland game?
Not really.
God.
Play Nick Chubb, play Joe Mixon, play all your Cincinnati Bengals. Play them. That Joe Woods defense is fucking awful. So play your Cincinnati Bengals.
What the fuck just happened?
What?
I think it was a glitch. It's the remix.
Yeah, I don't have anything else on this game.
Yeah.
I'm done.
All right. Well, that's
Does anybody else have anything else on this game?
have nothing on this game.
Anybody else but a Browns fan want to talk about this game?
it's a game I'll probably not watch, but
I'm going to be trick-or-treating probably for the first half of
Fair.
it or for the first portion of it.
I don't know. I was more interested in Russ almost spiking the ball in his own end zone.
that would have been great.
That would have been funny.
Yes. No, I got nothing else on this.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the show. Hopefully, everybody, you just can knock those things over all the time, aren't you?
There you go.
Hopefully, everybody wins some money today on something.
Yes.
Win your fantasy matchups. That'd be great for everybody.
Please bet responsibly.
You know what? Yeah.
Or get better at it.
Or get better at it.
Bet recklessly and take chances.
I will tell you this. I won't get into detail, but Andrew took my advice. He got better at it.
Oh, he won. Good for him. Good job, Andrew. As always, we want to thank everybody for listening and or watching. We appreciate everyone who supports Sports on Tap Detroit, even Andrew.
No, we don't.
I got to say, most importantly, Andrew. Andrew's a big part of this show and a big part of this podcast, a big part of Sports on Tap Detroit at this point. He's become...
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
I like to give him shit, but he's a good dude.
I know. I don't want to give him too much shit because I don't want him to think I don't appreciate his interactions and
Holy
how much
shit.
we appreciate that.
The Broncos
So,
got a left-footed punter? That's crazy. That's rare that you see that.
on that note, enjoy your Sunday.
I wasn't prepared for more conversation.
I wasn't prepared for a discussion on a left-footed punter.
It's an oddity. You don't see that.
Everybody enjoy your Sunday. Hopefully you win some money, win some fantasy leagues. We'll be back on Tuesday for the regular Sports on Tap Detroit show. Enjoy your Sunday. Peace out.
Down the field.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks, don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.